Hi everybody, welcome. You're at Your Home, Your Happy Place. I'm Debbie, and today's video is going to be a little bedroom refresh. But really, the root of this is what my channel's about, and so I am going to tell you a little bit about what's going on. And if you are not somebody that likes to know why I'm doing something, I will put a timestamp in for when the actual decorating begins. All right, here's what's going on. I'm at the cottage, and this is I never know, 1,500 square foot home, I think. We moved, we never intended to buy this. It was saving us money, honestly, from being in a hotel when we were up here. And it allowed me a place when I'm up here babysitting to have my own space rather than stay at somebody else's house, because I have a lot of things I like to get done. And I end up, when I'm at somebody else's house, I don't feel at home. I know this is terrible because I'm somebody who loves to have people stay with me, but really those are for visits, not for a week at a time thing. And so I end up just watching TV in the, when I'm not, like when the babies are asleep or whatever. And that's just not who I am. I don't like to do that. So anyway, I'm in this house, and we built it the same year. I mean, our house that I film in all the time was a 3-year project. So we started that one before we even knew we were going to buy this one. And then we bought this one, and it was done in 8 months or less, maybe 6. Big difference in size, but just a big difference in a custom build versus I don't even know what you call these kind. It's a subdivision. You go in, there's like 3 to 5 models. You pick your model, you pick the elevation, exterior, you pick your lights and your cabinets and things like that. But you don't change anything. You just have certain options. So anyway, this one, it's a good little size, but the house that we had was the house that we had in this area before this house was almost twice the size. And we decided that we were just going to rather than taking all this furniture like I'm standing in front of and moving it, 4.5 hours away, we already had truckloads going to go, from our storage units. We didn't want to have to go buy new furniture for this house. So we just moved the furniture over, and therein begins the problem. Secondly, we were trying to save money. So we cut some corners that maybe probably in the long run for me were not the best. We'll see. I'm hoping that that's going to work its way out. But the biggest thing is that we didn't buy any decor. So I have been using decor that was leftover, and I mean really leftover. It's the kind of thing that you walk by and, oh, I won't get rid of that, but you never use it. So all my good stuff's at the other house. And here was things that I just wasn't using now anymore. Maybe I was before I moved, but that was a long time ago. So I kept coming, and this is I feel like I'm doing a repeat on telling you over and over, this house is not my happy home, number one. It's just not. And it's my fault because I haven't made it that. And so in the struggle that I'm going through, trying to identify what this house is for me to make it my happy place, I'm hoping it helps any of you that are struggling with your home. There's a lot of reasons why you may not be happy in your home. Maybe you don't like it. Maybe you don't like the outside architecture, the outside curb appeal. Maybe you don't like your subdivision, your location. Maybe you don't like the floor plan of your house. Maybe you can't afford new furniture. There are so many reasons that could go into why you're not happy. And yet some of them you can't change. And so that's where I'm at. I can't change the furniture. We're not going to spend money on a bunch of new furniture. We might buy a little bit, but not much. And I can't change the floor plan. This is a brand new house. I can't go knocking down walls. Now I can do some treatments to the walls, but even in that, it's going to have to be DIY because we can't afford to hire out somebody for this home. It's just not realistic for us. So what I've decided, I had all this French country up. I'm using a lot of French country at my other house. I don't like it here. It just, I walk in, I thought about the house. It's just like, this wasn't the vision. And that's kind of the thing. If you have a vision, this house came on us so fast. I didn't have a clear vision, but I did think that I wanted it to feel like a vacation home for us, which for me, and I know a lot of you guys are not coastal, we are in an area called Lake St. Louis. And so it is water area. And while we're not on the water, we can't see the water, it's the idea. And when I was in Home Goods the other day, I was checking out, somebody goes, "Oh, you have a beach house?" And I said, "Only in my mind." I said, and then somebody else had asked me that too in the store. I tell you what, I get approached in Home Goods all the time. I got approached in the last 2 weeks in 2 different locations, 2 different cities, by people saying, you look like you know what you're doing. What do you think about this? And they start telling me the whole history of their house. And this one lady at this particular place, I kept running into her aisle after aisle. "Well, what do you think of this? I need you to come out to my house." Now, this was back home because I remember when she ended up telling me where she lives, she goes, "I just need you." I'm like, "But I'm not doing that anymore. You can watch my channel." And by the way, if you're out there, hi. And then the other day, it was the same thing. "Oh, you must be doing whatever." And then somebody started asking me questions. So I think it's funny because I don't understand it. Why you would think somebody knows what they're doing just because they've got a full cart. Okay, back to this house. So my vision was a bright, airy home. I was thinking about adding either shiplap at the time, making it, not modern farmhouse, but when you go to Florida and you stay in vacation homes, they have a lot of shiplap there, but it's still a coastal look versus a farmhouse look. So that really got me. But that's a lot of money and a lot of work, and I don't think we're going to be able to pull that one off. The other thing that had come to me was just adding moldings. At the house that we had here prior, the moldings were something that we added on to the home. That home, we added screen-in porch. We added a bump out for a bay. We added a special bathroom. We thought we were going to keep that house potentially forever, but it's that 55 plus living is not our cup of tea. So anyway, I just started taking everything off the walls. It's stripped. I started removing furniture because it was just there and we put it there. And so I've been doing that throughout this whole week, besides babysitting. And so that's why I haven't been in, and I apologize. But anytime I'm babysitting, even though the kids were in daycare, I was so busy I couldn't get anything done for you guys. I've got a lot of stuff started, but not done. So today, I started filming this video earlier in the week. So I'm going to show you what I started with. And in this bedroom, I stripped it down. I took everything away except the furniture. And I started, because this room, I'm going to tell you what's wrong with this room. It's a small room and I have too much furniture in it. If I were getting ready to sell this house, and I'm not going to do it when we sell it, but if I were coming in and telling somebody what to do, I'd tell them to get rid of probably both of the dresser and this, and maybe put a couple chairs or something over here, or at a small table, something else to make it look roomier. It is probably, I'm guessing, 12 by 12. It's just not big for this kind of furniture. Not to mention, I have a canopy, which is just another thing that just makes it feel a little closed in. But it's my furniture. It's the nicest furniture we've ever purchased. And so it's staying, and I'm going to make it work to the best of my ability. At my other house, it was slightly bigger, plus we had a bump out, and we only had one of these two pieces in here. So it made a huge difference. This house, I don't have a place for that. And you might go, oh, put it in the basement or something. Well, these are the heaviest things ever, and they don't turn. This piece comes apart. So one thing I could do is take the top off and leave this, but I've already got a long, narrow piece, or a long piece over there without a top on it. So that would be redundant in the room and look bad. So because I don't have a lot of wall space, where's my inspiration for this room coming? I've got to start with the bed and the bedding. So that's what I did. And I struggled even in the store. You know I didn't find exactly what I wanted. But for now, it works. So we'll get started there. So I love to use the quilts. I've done this for years when we had our vacation rentals, because they're a lot less expensive compared to a comforter or duvet. If you're getting them at Home Goods or TJ Maxx. And so this is a Nicole Miller king set reversible quilt. Sometimes they come, I don't think this one did. Sometimes they come with the shams. And sometimes when they don't, if you look in a particular area at Home Goods, you might find them packaged separately. I did not look for those today or yesterday. I forgot about it. So this is $60. So for king, I think that's a pretty nice way to get a bedspread. And so we've got a aqua or turquoise and kind of a cornflower blue rickrack, which is really kind of cottagey and cute. And then just a vague pattern. On the other side, I think it's just a stripe. Actually, it's just a solid. Okay. So what did I buy with it? It shows also based on what I could find to coordinate. So I loved these pillows by Laura Ashley. We have little seashells and then just a little pillow. So even though this did not come with the shams, I'm going to use these for sure. I will go back and look for those. And then one special pillow. I like to find one that's just going to be the centerpiece. And it was this one. It reminds me of a Chanel blazer. I love the little details in it. And who's this by? I don't know. Oh, Martha Stewart. And it's $20. It's water and fade resistant. You can put this outside. It doesn't feel like that at all. Ooh, can you imagine an exterior with okay. So I got white sheets on the bed. I'm going to go ahead and make this bed, and this is going to be my jumping off point in here. And I'm praying that it really does make me happy and that it gives me inspiration. If this doesn't work, then I don't have the inspiration I need to move on and do the rest of it. So that's where I'm struggling. All right. Now, since I started, I've gone to the store and I found a few pieces. So that's where we're going to pick up. I also wanted to show you that in the bedding, I said there was two colors that I could put an overlay on. And so I found something in the basement that I turned to the reverse side. And I think it's going to work, at least for now. I think it's picking up blue, so that'll be good. So I'll show you that. So this is actually seashells, which is funny because I have the seashells up there. But this is very much a cornflower blue. And this blue I was calling cornflower, but it's a lot lighter. Let's see, it's just a lot lighter. And this was too busy to have that on top. So I folded that up and I like it. And then I found this pillow, this big long turquoise one at this Home Goods. Well, a different Home Goods, but in town here. And I thought that just tied everything in because over here, I started with this part, which I have those two colors, and then this seemed to be a paler shade of the turquoise. And then I brought in the blue with that pillow, and then I wanted a deeper shade of turquoise that more matched that color to kind of top it off. I'm cleaning up in the basement and trying to take things to consignment. And I was about to get rid of this. I think it's an outdoor pillow. And suddenly I'm like, wait, those colors would work in here. And so I actually did that as well. I don't think I'm going to leave it, but I'm going to show you what I did. Well, it's not easy to see there because I'm doing it very poorly, but it actually worked okay. But then by the time I did all that, I'd lost that pattern back there. So I'm just going to take those home with me because actually they're great and they'll probably match stuff at my other house. Okay. So here we have the finished bed, and husband approved. He liked it this morning when he made it, or when I made it. So next spot was not on this wall, but over my dresser. That's the biggest area. And I wanted a picture there. I had tried thinking about doing a mirror, and it's like, I need color, and the mirror is not going to give me color. So let's see what I found. I liked, I think when I get more light on here, you might see, but this is definitely has turquoise. There were paintings that had blue, but they were running more into that other blue color. And this was a lot of turquoise. So I really thought that was pretty. Another thing I liked about this, because I had a canvas up here before when I had other colors, and it was a wrapped canvas, but no frame. And this wall calls for a frame. I don't know why. I can't tell you why. I just know that when I hang up something without a frame, it looks very unfinished. So let me step back, and there you can see how that's looking there. I'm liking it very much. So I decided, as dark as this room is, and it is dark, and I apologize, I have that light and then the two over here, that's it. How about a couple lamps? I struggled so much. There's two lamps that I loved, and I thought, oh, they'll go perfectly. But I stopped and picked up a different lamp, which I'm going to show you first. I picked up this lamp, which has actually more of a navy and then a really bright blue, but really not the right colors. But I know it's going to work in this room, which I'm giving you a sneak peek at. Okay. So this is what I got. It's very unusual. Sorry, I'm going to turn the light out and see if it's better without it. Yeah, I think it is actually. I don't know. I mean, right now it almost reminds me of the bumpers that you put out on a boat because we have some that look like this, only they're one color. And I liked this piece here. I don't know. I mean, it's just a little, just imagine, you guys, it's just tied. See, somebody just tied that around it. You could totally do something like that to, make your lamps a little bit more individualized. I mean, it's just a cute idea. So I have two of those. So I'm going to put the other one up and show you how it looks. Oh gosh, I'm so sorry about the light. I can't do anything about it. It's just very warm. I'll get closer and turn out the lights in a second. But just look at this scale. And another thing about these lamps and this art is I needed something in the art that was not so detailed, that because I knew as long as that was that the lamps with their big shades would overlap it. And I like it actually. I love that it overlaps. So let me get you closer up. So once I got that done, I knew I needed something on the, otherwise it looks like a hotel room, right? So I called my husband because I remembered I had this, and I asked him to bring it with him when he came to town. I got this at Home Goods years ago, but I've seen it since. And how have I used it in the past? I bought it for one of our vacation homes, put it in the middle of a double vanity, so sink on one side and sink on the other, and then I rolled up the towels and put them in here. Stunning, so stunning. I have not tried it up there. In the meantime, I found this downstairs. I'd never used it before, perfectly suited color. And then, of course, you can put a candle, battery or otherwise in there, and the light will come out. And then my, I'd say these are Capiza shell frames. And that looked cute up there, but I'm going to first try this. I know it's one giant piece, but it's not going to go anywhere else in the room. There's no other spot that this shell can fit. So if I'm going to get to use it in here, it's going to have to go there. So there it is. It looks so big until I put it up there. Now it doesn't look so big. So I may take it out of the center, move it towards one side, and put my pictures up. I think that might work. I think that looks pretty good. I've tried to get in a different position to show you, but because there's light outside and not a lot of lighting good in here, it's hard for you to see it. So I like that. So I'm going to leave that there. I don't probably have anything for these, but I'll look around. All right, now we're going to look at what we're going to put on the rest of the walls in here. I don't really have a space for a shelf. All I have is a little bit of space around my bed, which is, I'll show you in a second, but I have a tall lamp. I have this big canopy, which I said I could possibly take down. I'm going to talk to my husband about it and see what he thinks. If he wants to take it down, we will. And then that would change a little bit about how I can hang things over the bed, but I still don't have a lot of space there. And then there's one little spot behind the door here. Let me close that door. And then between the closet and the doorway. And that is it. So I want to bring in a little texture. Here's what I have. If you've been with me since the beginning, no, I still haven't hung this sign. So it says be still and know. And I'm going to tell you guys, I've often said I don't understand why I love coastal so much, but it just occurred to me when I picked up this sign. There is something so calming and grand and majestic about the sea. Mysterious, because there's this whole living world under the surface that we're not looking at ever when we're above it. Not to mention, if you've ever watched some of these shows where they go really deep and it's so dark that all the little creatures glow in the dark, that's, I think, a piece of why I am drawn to it. Yes, a sea can be violent and stormy, but that's how life can be. And so I think about when Jesus calmed the storm. And I have a whole little Bible study on that. And it's just, it's just special to me, and it makes me think of God. And so I think that's why I love the coastal. It's not about that I want to live there. It's too hot for me. But the colors are calming to me, and seascapes are calming. And even those sailboats, because I've been on sailboats, the big long ones that people actually sleep in the bottom of, um, those can be a little, scary the way they lean and everything. But just looking at them floating across the water is very quiet, as opposed to the pontoon or the motorboat, that's, you know. So I think that's why I'm drawn to these. So it's kind of, I think, you guys, when I say these things to you, I'd like you to try and think, if you're trying to find your happy place in your home, try and find why you think you might like something. Just kind of, if you're somebody who has faith in the Lord, you can pray and ask, can you help me? First of all, believe it or not, God cares about the creation and surroundings so much. I mean, He created that for us to live in, and it's so gorgeous that I think if you ask Him to help you make a beautiful space to live in, that He will. That's my belief. Now you may think that's crazy, and that's okay. All right, so I have that, and I do want it in here, and I do like it over the bed. It says something about marriage to me, and the same, because things over my bed are almost like a blessing. The Bible says, and this is scripture. It's Psalm 46:10, and words have power, and so if I put that, like the Bible says, put it on your doorpost and things like that, I feel like I'm doing something to bless my marriage as well. Now, this is something I've had for a while, and I have another one. I think it's in the garage. That's a mate to it. They're not identical. So this is very neutral. It will go with any colors that I ever choose. So if I stay neutral in the background of this room, I can always change out a piece of art, a lamp, and a bedding, and turn it into a whole different look really quickly. But so that's something I have to work with potentially. And these were in the clearance, and I had no thought of where they might go. I'm not even sure why they were in clearance, but it's 4 small little pieces. And I like that they're real and they're not just a painting. I really like that. I had some ideas of what I might do with them. I kind of can see them underneath like a mirror or something, where they would be all in a row. But right now I don't know where they're going to go. And then lastly, so I love, there's every color represented in this room, including the white. And then there's definite texture on these, besides the fact that they're very 3D. So I'm thinking, originally, I was going to hang the larger pieces of coral on either side of my bed. It's very quiet and soothing. But I'm thinking about the movement. This fish, this fish keeps changing he keeps curling his tail, because we uncurled it at the store. That is hilarious. Okay, so I'm thinking that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to play around in here and bring you back, and that will be what I've done on the walls will be. I'm not going to address this today. I don't have anything to work with in there. Maybe I'll find stuff when I'm in the basement this weekend trying to go through things, but I'm going to just kind of get some nails and start going at it. Okay, you guys, I said I wasn't going to do this piece. But as I was playing around with everything, I thought, oh, how wonderful could this be? I have these 4 pieces, And I've got the four corners, so I put them in each. And in the middle, I had these. They're a really thick little mirror. And then I just accented it with one little um, nautical or seaside candle. These aren't even nautical. These are, definitely seaside. But the overall look is really peaceful. Normally when I do these, they're just a lot of busyness going on, and I just love it, just being so peaceful. Again, I'm trying, that's what I'm going for here. So, I am hanging that up there, and then I think I'm gonna wait for my husband's not here right now. I want somebody to hold that up so I can see exactly where it needs to go, because it has to work around the lamps. And um there's a lot of big lampshades going on in here. It really is. If these tables were taller and these lampshades were at the same height, I would say you've got to find a different way, put some wall sconces in, do something else. But it's still a lot, but I'm okay with it. It's my bedroom and I'm thinking it works. If I were, oh gosh, if I were listing the house, I don't know what I'd do. I might go ahead and put some sconces up for the looks and keep that there because I like the balance that that brings. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and definitely get this hung today. All right, I actually didn't wait for my husband and I hung them myself. Again, I apologize for the lighting. There are certain times in a room where you can't do a whole lot about it because of the outdoor light. I made sure, here's things, these are little tips. You would not want the height of this picture to be at the same height of that one. So it's a little under. And if you have to, see, now I did not hang this over. Most of the time we center things over pieces of furniture, but I'm looking at a whole profile here. So I've got the lamp overlapping and I can move that lamp this way or that way. So I actually brought it over here so it wasn't quite so in front. If I hung the picture completely above the lamp, it would have looked hideous. It could have gone slightly higher, but I still want my eye to definitely see it coming lower than my centered over my bed. So there's a connection through that whole little situation there. And why didn't I go with the fish? Once I put the be still and know up, the fish were moving. The fish was a school. It was too much color and everything. When you take things the background quiet and you have a few things that are colorful, they really stand out. Is this my most favorite bedding? No, but it was the best available at the time. And I do like it a lot. And then I worked with it till I got it to a place where I was pretty happy with it. And so what pops when you first walk into this room is the bedding and then this whole little vignette, if you want to call it that. I mean, it's kind of big for a vignette. Let me get closer. It's so hard for you to see how pretty it is because of all the color there. And all those colors work so well together. And keep in mind, even when you're doing accessorizing, you could use wooden frames or whatever, but when you have the opportunity to do something where you're bringing in more of the element of design that you're working with, which I was doing, like a seashell type thing or seaweed or all of that, it just really enhances the cohesiveness of the room. And another thing, let me walk back and, well, not too far back because these don't show up that well, especially since they're so still. And so again, these almost completely mimic what I have on the wall over there. The frame color, the fact that it's got a linen background, I just think it's a really, really good repetitive design. Same thing here. Sorry. Walls are thin at this house. Summing this all up, I just want to say okay, I started this video telling you this home has not been my happy place because I didn't make it that. So I tried to find in me what I was going after, what makes me happy. Color makes me happy, and it has to be in a color family that I like. And then a feel. So in this bedroom, I wanted it to be peaceful and relaxing. And what else would I have liked to have done? I would have loved to have found some pops of coral for in here because my bathroom has the coral and I love the combo of the turquoise and the coral. Love it. But I couldn't find any pillows that were good for the bed. There were plenty for outside. And I couldn't find a picture in that size that had the kind of coral I liked. And so if you can't pull the whole thing off, don't go there. And then, you can someday maybe you'll find the pillows and someday maybe you'll find the artwork. But right now, I love this. I'm very happy with it. And right now, doing nothing more to the walls, as far as any kind of woodworking or wallpaper or whatever, I'm good. I think I can even, I'm okay with leaving my bed as a canopy because it feels fresh and airy. The other thing is I'm showing you basics. So I didn't go into huge details in here. I didn't add any new furniture pieces. I mean, there's not a lot of space to do that, but I could have snuck something in. I didn't cover every wall. And like I said, the pictures that I ended up putting in this entertainment center, they just were, for me, the icing on the cake. I have, every time I come over here, I redo this room, I'm like, what am I going to put on there? 6 shelves. It's 6 shelves that are small, and I don't want them all to look the same and everything. So I am really happy with this, and I hope that there's some information that I've shared in my struggle that will help you if you're struggling. And otherwise, maybe you just enjoyed seeing some neutral background, which for me, a neutral is a gray, because I don't do beiges. I don't do off-whites. I like white. My favorite paint color for white is Chantilly lace. And I don't remember the color of this particular gray. And I'm okay with some enhanced deeper shades of it, but this keeps it pretty neutral so that I can do almost anything in here. I want to give a shout out to Lynn. I believe she is from Virginia, and Lon, and now I'm forgetting the state. I'm going to say Colorado, but I think it was from the West, who were recent purchasers of the Senegence products that I have, lip scents, which all I know is the gloss that I have on is Honeycrisp. But underneath it, I have almost a neon orange, and I couldn't find the name on it. It's an older one, but I pretty sure they still carry it. So I will be going in and putting a link into any of their specials, or, I mean, it'll be a link to the website, but I'll say, look for this collection that they're highlighting maybe this week in the lips. They have other things, skincare and all kinds of things. So if you're interested in supporting me through that, it is, I think I just make commission on it, but I have a website link for you. And I will link whatever I can find. The last time I linked all this furniture, the feedback was like, oh my gosh. And I just want you to know that when I bought this furniture years ago, it cost, all the pieces cost less, including the piece out in my family room cost less than the bed costs now. It's really, really good quality furniture, but prices have gone up. And I got a decorator discount at the time. So anyway, I'm still going to let you know where it's from if I can find a link. Sometimes it's on Amazon and sometimes it's not. So what else? Here's what I've got coming up. I don't know if I'm going to get these done. If I get these done while I'm still here, they will be the next videos, and they may even come out over the weekend. And I'm working on the family room, but again, it's gonna look a lot like this, as far as it's not gonna have a lot of detail. It's gonna be scaled back, but it's gonna be fresh and clean and in the direction that I wanna go. And then I'll tell you what I'm doing with that. And if I have even more time, I don't think I'm going to get to the tablescape, but I did get some stuff for a tablescape. So the next time I'm in town, I'll probably do that. And then I have a bedroom I've shown you part of before that was nautical. And I may get that one almost completed this weekend. So if that's the case, there's 2 more videos in this My Cottage house. And thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your comments. I appreciate you liking, and I really would ask, if you can, please like this. It really helps it get to more people. And I will see you on the next video. If you're new here, welcome. And I hope that you will consider subscribing. And to all my new subscribers and old, thank you from the bottom of my heart. You guys have the best weekend and make your home your happy place. Bye.